The Grammy Awards afterparty at Chateau Marmont was in full swing when Miley Cyrus, dressed in a stunning silver gown, found herself cornered by Entertainment Tonight's cameras. The 24-year-old singer had just performed her hit single to critical acclaim, but the reporter's question would ignite a family war that had been simmering for over a decade. "Noah, your sister Miley recently said in her podcast that you're still trying to find your voice, that you're living in her shadow. How do you respond to that?" Noah's jaw tightened, her hands trembling slightly as she gripped her clutch. 4 years she had endured her older sister's public dismissals, the backhanded compliments, the subtle sabotage. But tonight, something inside her snapped. "You know what?" Noah said, her voice steady despite the emotion building behind her eyes. "Miley can keep telling herself that story. But I have recordings from a family meeting in 2016 that would change everything people think they know about the Cyrus family. About how my own sister actively worked to destroy my career before it even began." The reporter's eyes widened. The surrounding crowd fell silent. Noah had just dropped a bomb that would explode across social media within minutes. What she didn't reveal in that moment was that the recording contained not just Miley's voice, but their father Billy Ray's as well, and what they had planned together was more shocking than anyone could imagine. Hidden in a safety deposit box in Nashville, that 8-year-old recording was about to expose the darkest secret in country music's most famous family. It would reveal how a global superstar systematically sabotaged her little sister's dreams, and how their father chose fame and money over his youngest daughter's future. Before we dive into this explosive family betrayal that shocked the music industry, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. This story will change how you see celebrity families forever. Comment below if you think Miley really sabotaged Noah, or if there's more to this story. The roots of the Cyrus family drama stretch back to 2006, when Miley was chosen to star in Hannah Montana. At just 13 years old, she became Disney's biggest star, catapulting the Cyrus family from Nashville obscurity to Hollywood royalty. Noah was only 6 years old, watching her big sister transform into a global phenomenon. "I idolized Miley," Noah would later tell close friends. "She was everything I wanted to be. I would dress up like Hannah Montana and perform concerts for my stuffed animals." But as Miley's star rose, the family dynamic shifted dramatically. Billy Ray Cyrus, whose own music career had peaked with Achy Breaky Heart in the 90s, saw Miley as his ticket back to relevance. He became her manager, carefully crafting her image and fiercely protecting her position as the family's golden child. By 2013, when Miley shed her Disney image with the controversial Wrecking Ball era, Noah was 13, the same age Miley had been when she found fame. Noah had begun writing songs and posting covers on YouTube, showing remarkable talent for someone so young. Industry insiders started taking notice. "Noah had something special," recalled a former Hollywood Records executive. "Her voice was deeper, more soulful than Miley's. She had this raw emotional quality that was way beyond her years. We were very interested. But every time record labels approached the Cyrus family about Noah, they hit a wall. Billy Ray would listen politely, then decline, saying Noah was too young or not ready. What nobody knew was that behind closed doors, Miley was pulling the strings. The turning point came in early 2016. Noah, now 16, had been invited to perform at a major music festival. It was her chance to showcase her talent to the industry's biggest players. But 3 days before the performance, it was mysteriously canceled. Noah was told there were scheduling conflicts. "I was devastated," Noah confided to a friend at the time. "It felt like every time I got close to a breakthrough, something would happen to stop it." What Noah didn't know was that Miley had called in favors to have her performance canceled. According to sources close to the situation, Miley was preparing to launch her new album and didn't want any distractions, especially from her own family. It was during this period that the infamous family meeting took place. On April 15, 2016, Billy Ray called a family strategy session at their Hidden Hills mansion. Present were Billy Ray, his wife Tish, Miley, and Noah. What they didn't know was that Noah, suspicious after months of canceled opportunities, had hidden a recording device in her jacket. The 47-minute recording, which Noah has kept locked away for 8 years, begins innocuously enough with Billy Ray discussing family schedules. But about 15 minutes in, the conversation takes a dark turn. Billy Ray, now about Noah's music situation. "Miley, Dad, we talked about this. It's not the right time." "Noah, when will it be the right time?" "I'm 16. You were 13 when you started." "Miley, that's exactly the point, Noah. Do you know how hard it was to establish myself? To build the Cyrus brand? If you come out now, the comparisons will kill you. The media will pit us against each other. Noah, so what am I supposed to do? Just wait forever? What comes next on the recording is the most damaging part. Miley's voice becomes calculating, almost cold. Miley, listen Noah. I've worked too hard to have my own sister become my competition. Dad agrees. We need to control this narrative. Billy Ray, Miley's right, honey. We need to think about the family brand. Noah, the family brand? What about my dreams? Miley, your dreams can wait. Mine can't. I'm at a critical point in my career. The transition from child star to adult artist is brutal. Having my little sister suddenly emerge as the new Cyrus would undermine everything I've built. The recording continues with Miley outlining her plan. She had already spoken to several record labels, warning them that signing Noah would mean losing access to Miley. She had influenced festival organizers, telling them that booking Noah would create family conflicts that could affect Miley's performances. Most shocking of all, Miley revealed she had been planting stories with music bloggers, subtly undermining Noah's credibility. Miley, I've had my team drop hints that Noah's not ready, that she's too fragile, that she has issues. Nothing serious, just enough to make people cautious. Noah, you've been sabotaging me? Miley, I've been protecting you. And protecting myself. It's the same thing. Billy Ray, Noah, your sister knows the industry. Trust her judgment. The betrayal in Noah's voice is evident on the recording. Noah, so I'm supposed to just give up? Because Miley says so? Miley, not give up. Just wait. Maybe in 5 years, when I've fully established my adult career, there will be room for you. But not now. Not when I'm fighting for my own relevance. The recording then captures a moment that would haunt Noah for years. Billy Ray, the father who should have protected both daughters' dreams, chose a side. Billy Ray, Noah, I'm going to be frank. Miley is the breadwinner of this family. Her success pays for everything, this house, your education, our lifestyle. We can't risk that for an uncertain shot at your music career. Noah's voice breaks. So you're choosing her over me? Billy Ray, I'm choosing the family's security. The meeting ended with Miley making a chilling promise. Miley, Noah, if you try to go around us, if you sign with anyone without our approval, I'll make sure you fail. I have connections you can't even imagine. Every door I've opened I can close. For your own good. After the meeting, Noah was devastated but not defeated. She began working in secret, writing songs in her room, collaborating with underground producers who weren't part of the mainstream industry Miley controlled. She built a following on SoundCloud, using aliases to avoid detection. But Miley's reach was longer than Noah anticipated. In late 2016, when Noah finally released her debut single, Make Me Cry, featuring Labyrinth, strange things began happening. Radio stations that had committed to playing the song suddenly dropped it from their rotations. Music blogs that had promised reviews went silent. Instagram and Twitter seemed to suppress posts about the song. It was like fighting a ghost, Noah's former manager revealed. Every time we gained momentum, something would shut us down. We couldn't prove it was Miley, but the pattern was undeniable. Despite the obstacles, Make Me Cry found an audience, reaching the top 50 in several countries. But in America, where Miley's influence was strongest, it struggled to gain traction. Noah watched as her breakthrough hit was systematically suppressed in her home country. The psychological toll on Noah was severe. She developed anxiety and depression, questioning her own talent and worth. In 2017, she posted a series of concerning messages on social media, hinting at family troubles without naming names. Fans speculated, but nobody knew the full truth. Meanwhile, Miley continued to play the supportive sister in public. She would post occasional photos with Noah, calling her talented and finding her way. But behind the scenes, the sabotage continued. In 2018, Noah was approached by a major label with a lucrative contract offer. The excitement lasted exactly 48 hours before the label mysteriously withdrew, citing creative differences. Years later, a former executive would reveal that Miley's team had threatened to pull her catalog from their streaming services if they signed Noah. The pattern continued for years. Noah would gain momentum only to hit invisible walls. Collaborations would fall through at the last minute. Tour opportunities would evaporate. Always there were whispers of Miley's involvement, but never proof. Until 2021, when something shifted. Miley, perhaps feeling secure in her position or guilty about her actions, seemed to ease her grip. Noah was finally able to release her debut album, The Hardest Part. But even then, promotion was limited, tour support minimal. The album, despite critical acclaim, was largely ignored by mainstream media. It was during this period that Noah began therapy, working through the trauma of years of family betrayal. Her therapist encouraged her to confront the situation, but Noah held back, still protecting the family that had failed to protect her. The breaking point came in early 2024. Miley, appearing on the Call Her Daddy podcast, was asked about Noah's career. Her response was condescending and dismissive. Noah's still trying to find her voice. It's hard, growing up in someone's shadow. I try to give her advice, but she's stubborn. She wants to do everything her own way, even when it's not working. Sometimes I think she'd be happier doing something else, Not everyone is meant for this industry. The interviewer pressed, but don't you think she's talented? Miley's laugh was cruel. Talent isn't everything. You need strategy, connections, timing. Things I've tried to teach her, but... She shrugged, leaving the implication hanging. Noah, listening to the podcast from her apartment in Los Angeles, felt 8 years of suppressed rage finally boil over. Her sister wasn't just sabotaging her career anymore, she was publicly gaslighting her, making it seem like Noah's struggles were her own fault. That night, Noah made a decision. She retrieved the 2016 recording from her safety deposit box and called her lawyer. It was time for the truth to come out. The Grammy after-party confrontation was not spontaneous, it was calculated. Noah knew Entertainment Tonight would be there. She knew they would ask about Miley's podcast comments. And she was ready. Within hours of Noah's bombshell revelation, #NoahTellsAll was trending worldwide. Fans demanded to hear the recording. Music industry insiders began sharing their own stories of the Cyrus family dynamics. The narrative was shifting rapidly. Miley's initial response was predictable. She posted on Instagram, "Family matters should stay private. I love my sister and have always supported her. These accusations are hurtful and false." But Noah was done being silenced. The next day, she released a 15-minute excerpt from the 2016 recording on her YouTube channel. The audio was clear, the voices unmistakable. The music world listened in horror as Miley systematically planned her sister's professional destruction while their father enabled it. The public reaction was swift and brutal. #Team Noah exploded across social media. Miley's Instagram lost 3 million followers in 48 hours. Brands began distancing themselves. Spotify users created playlists of Noah's music in solidarity. Music industry professionals began speaking out. A former Disney executive revealed, "We always wondered why Billy Ray was so protective of Miley and dismissive of Noah. Now it makes sense. He was managing Miley and saw Noah as a threat to his meal ticket." Another insider added, "The saddest part is that there was room for both of them. Miley created a competition that didn't need to exist. She could have lifted Noah up instead of holding her down." The full recording revealed even more disturbing details. Miley had actively spread rumors about Noah's mental health to discredit her. She had contacted Noah's friends, warning them that associating with Noah could hurt their careers. She had even tried to convince Tish, their mother, that Noah wasn't emotionally stable enough for fame. Most heartbreaking was a section where Noah, then just 16, pleaded with her family. "Noah, don't you want me to be happy? Don't you want me to succeed?" "Miley, of course I do. Just not at my expense." "Noah, how is my success at your expense? We're not the same artist. We have different styles, different audiences." "Miley, you're naive. The media will compare us forever. Every article about you will mention me. Every success you have will be measured against mine. I've worked too hard to become a footnote in my little sister's story." The irony was palpable. In trying to prevent becoming a footnote, Miley had ensured that her legacy would forever be tainted by her treatment of Noah. As more of the recording was released, Billy Ray's role became increasingly damaging. He wasn't just complicit, he was an active participant in the sabotage. Billy Ray, "Noah, I've made promises to people about Miley. Contracts, deals, partnerships. If you emerge as competition, it could void some of these agreements. We could lose millions." "Noah, so it's about money?" Billy Ray, "It's about survival. Miley's income supports this entire family. Your grandparents, your cousins, everyone benefits from her success. Are you willing to risk all of that for your own ambition?" The manipulation was textbook emotional abuse. A 16-year-old girl was being told that pursuing her dreams was selfish, that her family's financial security depended on her staying in the shadows. The recording also revealed that Tish had tried to defend Noah, but was overruled. "Tish, this isn't right. Noah has just as much right to pursue music as Miley did. Billy Ray, Tish, be realistic. Lightning doesn't strike twice. Miley is our lightning. Miley, Mom, you don't understand the industry like we do. Trust us. As the full scope of the betrayal became clear, the music industry rallied around Noah. Established artists began reaching out, offering collaborations and support. Ariana Grande tweeted, "Noah's talent has been obvious for years. The fact that her own family tried to dim her light is heartbreaking. Noah, my studio is always open to you." Billie Eilish posted, "Family should lift you up, not tear you down. Noah's strength in facing this is inspiring. Can't wait to work with her." The support wasn't just symbolic. Within a week of the recording's release, Noah received dozens of collaboration offers, tour invitations, and label interest. The industry that had been closed to her for years suddenly swung wide open. But perhaps the most significant response came from Taylor Swift, who had her own history with public betrayals. She invited Noah to her home and shared her own experiences of industry sabotage. Their subsequent collaboration, Shadow Games, became Noah's first #1 hit, a song about emerging from someone else's shadow to find your own light. Miley's attempts at damage control failed spectacularly. She released a statement claiming the recording was edited and taken out of context, but audio experts confirmed its authenticity. She tried to shift blame, saying she was young and insecure in 2016, but the pattern of sabotage had continued for 8 years. Billy Ray's response was even worse. He attempted to gaslight the public, claiming Noah had misunderstood the family meeting. But when pressed for specifics, he couldn't explain away his own words on the recording. His reputation in Nashville, already shaky, completely collapsed. The country music community, which had always been suspicious of Billy Ray's opportunistic nature, finally had confirmation. One prominent Nashville producer stated, "We always knew Billy Ray would sell out anyone for fame. But selling out your own daughter? That's a new low even for him." As the scandal continued to unfold, more victims of the Cyrus family's manipulation came forward. Former band members, backup dancers, and crew members shared stories of being threatened or blacklisted for showing support for Noah. The pattern of control and intimidation was systemic. Noah's courage in releasing the recording inspired other industry victims to speak out. The hashtag Shadow Survivors began trending, with young artists sharing their own stories of being sabotaged by more established family members or mentors. The legal implications were also significant. Several lawyers suggested Noah might have grounds for a lawsuit based on tortious interference with business relations. The recording provided clear evidence that Miley had deliberately interfered with Noah's career opportunities. However, Noah chose not to pursue legal action. In a powerful statement, she said, "I've already lost 8 years of my career. I don't want to lose more time in courtrooms. My revenge is my success, my music, and my truth." The impact on Miley's career was immediate and severe. Her upcoming tour saw mass cancellations. Her new album, set to release that month, was postponed indefinitely as her label tried to distance itself from the controversy. Brand partnerships evaporated overnight. More damaging than the commercial impact was the artistic legacy. Miley had spent years trying to be taken seriously as an artist, moving from pop to rock to country. Now she would forever be known as the sister who sabotaged her own family. Music critics began re-evaluating her entire catalog through the lens of narcissism and insecurity. The family itself fractured completely. Noah cut off contact with both Miley and Billy Ray. Tish filed for divorce from Billy Ray, citing the 2016 recording as evidence of emotional abuse. The other Cyrus siblings, Brandy, Trace, and Bryson, were forced to choose sides, further splintering the family. In a particularly poignant moment, Noah's grandmother, Billy Ray's mother, publicly supported Noah. "I'm ashamed of my son and granddaughter. They let fame and money corrupt them." Noah deserved better from her family. As 2024 progressed, Noah's career exploded. Free from the invisible chains her family had placed on her, she released music that resonated with millions. Her songs about betrayal, survival, and finding your own voice became anthems for a generation. Her follow-up album, The Truth Hurts, debuted at #1 in 47 countries. The lead single, Family Secrets, directly addressed the sabotage with lyrics like, "You smiled for the cameras while you held me down / said you loved me while you stole my crown / but secrets have a way of coming to light / and shadows can't exist when you shine too bright." The music video featured symbolic imagery of breaking free from puppet strings, with a clear reference to being controlled by family. It won Video of the Year at the VMAs, where Noah delivered an emotional acceptance speech. This award belongs to everyone who was told they couldn't pursue their dreams because it might inconvenience someone else. To everyone whose own family became their biggest obstacle. You are not selfish for wanting to shine. You are not wrong for refusing to stay in someone's shadow. The camera caught Miley in the audience, her face a mask of forced composure as the industry she once ruled now celebrated the sister she had tried to destroy. The final twist came in December 2024. Forbes published an investigation revealing that Miley's net worth had dropped by 60% since the scandal, while Noah's had increased tenfold. The prophecy Miley had feared, being overshadowed by her little sister, had come true, but only because of her own actions. In her first major interview after the scandal, Noah reflected on the journey. I spent years believing I wasn't good enough, that my failures were my fault. The recording proved what I always suspected but was gaslit into doubting, that I was being held back by the people who should have pushed me forward. But in a way I'm grateful. The obstacles made me stronger. The sabotage made me smarter. And the betrayal? It gave me the best material I've ever written. When asked if she could ever forgive Miley and Billy Ray, Noah's response was measured. Forgiveness isn't about them, it's about me. I forgive them for my own peace. But forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, and it certainly doesn't mean allowing them back into my life. Some bridges once burned should stay ash. The story of Noah and Miley Cyrus became a cautionary tale in the entertainment industry. Music business schools began teaching it as a case study in family dynamics, professional jealousy, and the importance of ethical management. Parents of young artists were warned against favoring one child's career over another's. Miley's attempts to rehabilitate her image failed repeatedly. A documentary she produced to tell her side backfired when fact-checkers dismantled her claims. Her podcast was canceled after sponsors pulled out. Even her diehard fans struggled to defend the indefensible. Billy Ray fared even worse. His music career, already on life support, flatlined completely. Venues refused to book him. His record label dropped him. He became a pariah in Nashville, the city that had once embraced him. The man who had sacrificed one daughter's dreams for another's success ended up with neither. The most tragic aspect was that Miley's fears had been unfounded from the beginning. Noah's success didn't diminish Miley's achievements, it could have enhanced them. Two successful sisters would have been a powerful narrative. Instead, Miley's insecurity and need for control created the very situation she had tried to prevent. Industry psychologists analyzed the case, noting that Miley's behavior stemmed from deep insecurity about her own talent. She knew, on some level, that much of her success came from timing and marketing rather than exceptional ability, one expert noted. Noah's raw talent threatened that narrative. As Noah's star continued to rise, she used her platform to advocate for other artists facing family sabotage. She established a foundation providing legal and financial support to young artists whose careers were being suppressed by family members. The Shadow to Light Foundation helped dozens of artists escape similar situations. The 2016 recording became more than just evidence of betrayal, it became a symbol of speaking truth to power, even when that power comes from your own blood. Noah's courage in releasing it, despite the personal cost, inspired countless others to confront their own toxic family dynamics. In a final irony, Noah achieved everything Miley had feared and more. She became not just a successful artist but a cultural icon, a symbol of resilience and authenticity. Her music, born from pain but transformed into power, resonated with millions who had faced their own betrayals. The little sister who had been told to wait her turn, to stay in the shadows, to sacrifice her dreams for family wealth, had become the biggest star the Cyrus family had ever produced. Not through manipulation or control, but through talent, perseverance, and ultimately, the truth. As Noah performed to a sold-out stadium crowd in 2025, she dedicated her final song to everyone who was told they were selfish for having dreams. The camera panned across the crowd of 80,000 people, all holding lights, all singing along to words that had emerged from the darkness of family betrayal into the light of artistic triumph. The 2016 recording that changed everything served as a permanent reminder that in the age of technology, secrets have a way of surfacing. And sometimes, the person you try to keep in the shadows ends up shining the brightest light of all. If this shocking family betrayal opened your eyes to the dark side of celebrity families, make sure to subscribe for more untold stories from the entertainment industry. Leave a comment below. Do you think Noah was right to release the recording after 8 years? And remember, the most dangerous enemies are often the ones who share your last name.